First of all, Cam was named one of the stars of the week here, and really not just this past week, about 2.5 weeks of pretty stingy goaltending. Can you just talk about his impact and maybe what you see in his game that has allowed him to make some saves?
I believe our results really are a reflection on the impact that he has on our games right now. We are a team that's trying to come together after numerous changes at the trade deadline, fighting through some injuries, especially on the back end, and that's always tough. So you need somebody solid back there, somebody that exudes confidence and can get the job done. And certainly Cam's been that for us for a long, long time now. And we couldn't be happier for him and happier for us because it's a real important position. And he's playing it very well right now.
He led in a goal, that one specific one against Calgary on Halloween with 9 seconds left from behind the net. That was a killer and a frustrating one for you guys and a lot of the fans. Since then, I mean, what have you seen from him? Because that, to me, that seems like a mental thing as much as a physical thing.
Well, and it was. There's not a lot of baseball players that go through the whole season without an error. And, it gets magnified when you're a goaltender, and it happens in that situation. But he's allowed to make mistakes sometimes. We don't expect him to be perfect. He was still a new player in a new organization. We were all trying to figure out how to play at that point, which we still are doing, but the recovery was fine. He put his nose to the grindstone. I think Dustin Schwartz did a tremendous job with him, working on the mental aspect and adjusting a few things in his game coming to a new organization. And together they, Anders Nielsen when he was still here and now LB, have all worked well together as a group, and each of them has improved, so we're happy for them.
Todd, you added some size at the deadline with Maroon, Cracknell, Hardy, but did you get bigger just by osmosis through the rest of the lineup, the way a talented player can make other players better?
That may be a fair statement. I think prior to the deadline, we had made a commitment, maybe through osmosis, there to play harder and to compete harder. We weren't happy finishing that homestand. We talked about becoming a scrappier team and leaving it on the ice, not being overly concerned about the results. And I think that started in Anaheim, that started in LA, two real tough places to play. And then the trade deadline augmented it with adding some size and some strength. And, with that comes confidence. Now we have 15 games left. We're going to have some ups and downs. We didn't play real well in Columbus, for different reasons. But if we can keep this attitude that we have right now, and that relentlessness in our and tenacity in our game, we have a chance to evolve over the last month of the season and carry that into the summer, so we have a little momentum going into training camp next year.
You've take away the Columbus game, and you've been holding other teams to like 1 or 2 goals against for a long stretch here. But the shots against are way up. Are they mostly from the outside, or is this Talbot?
Well, it's a combination of both. Like I said, with our back end the way it is right now, and losing Davey doesn't help at all, we're probably going to give up more than we would like. We've had discussions with the forwards being more responsible and taking care of that back end. It's a team game, and sometimes you're strong in areas, sometimes you're weak, and our forwards have to do a good job, and they have for the most part. And then, of course, Cam making some saves when he needed to. And, on the trip again, I thought there were games where we took too many penalties, and a lot of the team's chances were 5-on-4 or even 5-on-3, and they got a lot of shots there, and that's going to happen. So if we can clean that up, we may be better for it as well.
Has Maroon surprised you in any way?
No, because I saw Patrick play against us in San Jose numerous times, and most of those nights he played with Perry and Getzlav and was effective like he is right now with Taylor and Leon.
What can you tell us about Davison, Todd?
Well, he's being tested today. He'll obviously get some MRIs and pictures done. Without knowing the results and just listening to the trainers talk, I think Davey's going to be a bit more long-term than short-term. So we're hoping for positive results, but we won't know until later on today.
Klefbom's out there today, Todd. I know you've been asked about him a lot, but since he's in full gear, is there a more definite timeline?
That's an exciting sign for us. As we lose Davey and to see Clef in full hockey equipment going through some of the drills, that's something we've all been looking forward to. Never thought it would ever go this long. Now, can he maintain that? Are there going to be any setbacks? That's what the next week to 10 days is for. And if we'd like to get him back before the season's over to get some games under his belt and just see where he's at. Let him feel confident in his body heading into the summer so that he can have a real good few months and a strong mental approach to training camp coming next year.
How rare is his condition, Klefbom's condition? I mean, have you dealt with that before much?
I haven't, no. And, the more you try and figure it out, the more frustrated you get. So what we did was just leave it up to the trainers and the doctors. And as they kept giving us updates, we just kept reacting. And he's a big piece, but we've lost big pieces all year. And, in retrospect, it's probably hurt our team. It's hurt our record. But it's also allowed some others to play through. We found Leon Draisaitl. We sent him to the minors to start, but with injuries, he got a chance to come up. Darnell Nurse. Those type of players have been able to come in and perform. It's forced us to pick people up off waivers and trade for people that we get to take a look at. And maybe those players will be part of our future.
Putting some wins together here down the stretch, what does that mean, and sort of how beneficial is it for the process?
Well, it's important. My experience is that when teams are, and we're not by any means eliminated completely, but we have to be realists too. There's less pressure on the group to perform, and normally you take it up a little bit. That happens a lot with groups, so we're doing that right now. We'd like to maintain that. One of our goals was to get our full team together at some point and be able to evaluate. It's likely not going to happen. So we head into the summer not really knowing what we have or don't have. But we've seen individuals enough, I think, that we can make some assumptions and begin to build our team around those.
Just another injury thing with Nugent-Hopkins. Will we see him in a game this week?
I'm trying to think of what. Well, perhaps on the homestand. I don't think we'll see Nuge play. Well, we won't see him play tomorrow. We won't see him in Minneapolis. Following that, there's a chance. I think we play Arizona and maybe Nashville after that. There's a chance in those games if everything goes well. He also has to see a doctor to be signed off on, and of course we're going to follow their guidance. And when we know, we know.